David Pineda, DP here, answering the question of how can a service dog help with mental health disabilities. I'm going to show a few pictures because I think it just helps to solidify the point. So the first one here that I think it's worthy of noting, it's the eyes. And I'm saying that because it's the attention that a service dog brings. This is my service dog, Legend. So as you see here, we had some photographs that we took for a photo shoot, and basically he is making some pretty, hard eye contact, right? So looking at that, I want to kind of just run through a few pictures here. Here we are in a vehicle driving from point A to point B, attentive, looking at what I'm doing. Here we are in our flight back from Colorado. He's under the seat in front of me, looking up, eye contact. Here we have, I'm in the airport back, met another veteran. We exchanged information, talked, and as you see here, Legend's just looking right at me, eye contact. Here, he's mid-blink, but we're out there in Colorado having a conversation with some other veterans about some collaborations. The point is, he's attentive as I'm just talking there. And here I am inside the gym they had just built, and he's watching my six, looking up what I'm doing as I'm apparently making a speech or saying something. The reason I show these pictures, beyond the fact that folks just love to see, the eyes and, Legend being cute, it's because the attentiveness to what they have. So when you start to look at mental health disabilities, specifically in the veteran space, there are a variety of things that are happening. For some, you have the inability to leave your house. You may not want to be around people. You may have issues where you're dealing with severe anxiety or depression, and you may need a service dog trained to work through disabilities. So as far as how a service dog can, help a veteran with mental health disabilities, it really depends on what your disabilities are. That's the first part. Let's say, for example, you're someone who's not leaving the house. The service dog can be a tool to help you begin to regain some of that. Let's say you have fear of walking into a room because you don't trust what may be in there, right? Maybe your service dog is trained to search and kind of report back that it's clear and nobody's there, right? You may have instances where you're about to have a panic attack or your blood pressure is raising, and they can nudge and alert you into what you're dealing with, right? Disruption. So there's that. Some service dogs provide deep pressure therapy where you have literally, and in my case, right, a yellow lab who just basically just puts his weight on me and kind of grounds you back to say, hey, I'm here, right? Boom, slow down. Their ability to detect what you're dealing with, medical, psychological, it really is unique to each person. So it's not a one answer fits all, because really what they're able to do is help to mitigate. So think of it from a medical perspective. If you were having a mental health condition, what would you do? Would you take a Xanax? Would you take certain pills? Or if you had a medical condition, what would you use to get around? If you couldn't walk, would you use a walker? So it really depends on the veteran specific case. But I'll tell you, back to my example, the attentiveness of having a service dog and them being cued into you and what you are dealing with, that is something that you cannot script. It is completely something that you're going to have to get used to. And if you see or you have a conversation with someone who has a service dog, that's one of the things that you'll notice. That service dog is clued in to their handler, right? Is DP okay, right? In the example of me being in these different locations, right? One of the things I think is pretty interesting is there again, we're outside talking and what have you. I shared this one where I'm having a conversation, right? And sometimes you get passionate and it's just like I'm, saying what I'm saying, and he's looking like, okay, is he getting agitated? Is his heart rate, pressure rate going up? Is what's going on? They detect all that and begin to even smell any physiological changes that you may be going through. So it's very powerful what they can do when they're trained specifically to work and mitigate your disabilities. So again, for some individuals, the anxiety, they're able to help mitigate some of that, disrupt patterns that you may be doing, help you to leave the house knowing that you have someone who's there with you. Again, this is a good one because he's looking at my six, right? I'm not looking at that. When someone approaches me from the back, whatever, he's literally always kind of looking at like, I got this side, you got that side. If someone's sneaking up, he's like, he'll do like a low growl, kind of nudge, like, hey, someone's kind of popping up here. Do you have eyes on this? And for many, that in and of itself gives you the freedom to go back out there. So there's so many different ways. We discussed some of this in longer form, but I wanted to just talk a little bit about the fact that having a mental health disability as a veteran with a service dog, I think is something that can really help. Even if you're not a veteran, they help with many psychological conditions, but I'd implore you to seek data, information, support from your mental health provider, and ask the question, right? Is a service dog something that would benefit me? And if not, and if you can, feel free to reach out, post questions below. I'll answer them to help you, because there's a lot of things that you may not know. So you have to weigh the pros and the cons, because guess what? It doesn't matter what time it is right now. I'll tell you what's going to happen at 05. He's up. We got to roll. There's a schedule. There's things that must happen. So I hope this was informative. But again, how can a service dog help a veteran with mental health disabilities? Immensely, in so many ways, because it's a service dog trained to you. And if you have the ability to look into this, I highly encourage it. It's life-saving for many of us. It's liberating for many of us, and gives us that sense of purpose, that bond that many of us have lost, regardless of your situation. I'm married with children. The reality is that my service dog plays a unique role in my life to be able to help me navigate my life and be a better parent, be a better husband, and so forth. So hopefully this was beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below.